Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pete Perspective. It has been a couple days since my last video and I'm excited to put something else out. People on YouTube are holding me accountable, so I gotta make sure I get something to them. I gotta deliver on my word, you know what I'm saying? Gotta. Anyways, if you're anything like me, if you're a Disney junkie, Thursday was a huge day for Disney. Huge. If you were on Twitter or Instagram or really any social platform, you probably caught wind on Thursday and you were like, whoa, what's happening here? So we have a lot to talk about. Let's dive in. So Thursday night, I guess, and Thursday evening was Disney Investor Day. And really, Disney Investor Day is just, simply put, it's a big meeting where they bring together all of their stakeholders and show them all of the upcoming things. And then afterwards, they release it to the public. And so Thursday was like, my jaw was on the floor most of the evening.
I kind of think that I'm cute in me.
We had family over. I was trying so hard to be present, just like mentally. I was like, all right, I don't need to look at my phone. I'm just gonna be present here. And I failed miserably because I saw 10 new Star Wars things, 10 Marvel shows that doesn't even include the bigger MCU movies. You know, like these are just shows at this point. What else? Like 15 new Pixar features, which I'm a sucker for Pixar too, right? Like I just forgot how much Disney owned. Like holy smokes, they're a conglomerate. Like, whoa, Indiana Jones? They were getting Indiana Jones 5. Like who, with Harrison Ford? Who asked for that? I don't know, but Disney's freaking giving it to you. Be grateful. Be grateful.
Come
on. So I want to hone in on Star Wars today because like I said in my last video, I'm on a bit of a Star Wars kick. So we're going to keep running with it. So here are the 10 things that Star Wars is releasing. All right, the first thing is the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch was a group of odd, weird clones that essentially were different from all of the other clones that were all kind of like each other because they're clones. We got them at the very end of season 9 of Clone Wars and
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction.
A lot of people love them and felt like we didn't get enough of them. And so they're getting their own show. So the Bad Batch is coming and coming soon. I think it's the first one that's coming out of all of these 10. The next one is Visions. I have no idea what Visions is about. A lot of different people are leaking different things and theorizing on what it is. I genuinely don't know. I do know is that the logo is really cool, and that's usually the first thing I look at is like to see what the type is kind of saying, if there's any story in there that you can kind of draw out to see what the show will be about. Third thing is, of course, we're gonna get another season of The Mandalorian.
Woo.
The Mandalorian has been a huge hit. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are at the helm of Mandalorian. They're producing it and they're just rewriting so much of the wrongs that Kathleen Kennedy sort of introduced in episode 7, 8, and 9. And so a lot of people love those movies. I liked them a lot. I thought they were entertaining, and you know, I went to the theaters of course to watch them, but they felt different, and I think she was trying to like do something different with Star Wars, and for that reason I think a lot of people were just not digging it as much, and so I think she's just out of the picture at this point. Of course, Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are very high up people in Disney, and so they're kind of just making sure that Star Wars is getting back to its roots. And so I love that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and George Lucas are really just aligning their visions and saying like, we need to get back to the root of like why we started and what this is all about. And so I think all of this the new shows and everything, I think all of that's going to be very well aligned in the broader universe, which I'm very, very excited about. The Mandalorian has so much good stuff coming, guys. I need to do that's a video on its own. We could just talk about Mando on a separate video, but of course we're getting season 3. The next thing is Lando. So Lando was a character that I never really resonated with until I saw him in Solo. He was played in Solo by Donald Glover. Donald Glover is fantastic. He raps, he sings, he's an actor. He does it all, man. And so I think in that character, specifically in Solo, he kind of gave Lando this swag that I really appreciated, and that's something that like kind of drew my interest towards Lando. And so with this new show, they're reporting that Donald Glover will be reprising his role as Lando, which is very exciting just to think about how Donald Glover could be in a Disney Plus show, a live action, and we're going to see more of that swag. We're going to see some of his dealings with crime lords and see how he kind of ended up helping Luke, Han, and Leia down the road. I'm excited about that series now. I wasn't at first, but I am now. After that, we have a Droid Story. One of the things that I either liked or was annoyed with, it's probably a little bit of both, but in Clone Wars, you would have these 30-minute episodes sometimes that these droids that were in a particular, in the timeline of like what you were watching, of course, you were familiar with them is what I'm trying to say. These droids would kind of go off and do this little side mission, and there were just these few episodes where the droids kind of just did their own thing. And so the reason why I like the idea of doing a Droid Story, which is like a live action version of that, is that the droids kind of never really get the appreciation that they should. And so this might be an opportunity for them to show just some of the capabilities of droids and how they communicated with each other, how they worked together as a team to like accomplish a mission without oversight of like a Jedi or whatever. Typically when we see droids, they're always like paired with a person. And there was a lot of times where droids were doing their own thing and really didn't have any people around. So I'm excited for people to kind of see and maybe appreciate droids in that new way.
As fast as you can.
I'll drop you to Panema Terminal.
The next thing is Ahsoka. Ahsoka. She's awesome. Okay, so a lot of you guys just met Ahsoka in live action for the first time a couple episodes ago in The Mandalorian. Ahsoka Tano was actually Anakin Skywalker's Padawan in the Clone Wars, and her character story arc is like amazing, but more or less, without spoiling too much, Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Order. She is a Jedi. She leaves the Jedi Order because she's accused of attacking a Jedi temple and is essentially hunted down by the Jedi, and then eventually finds her way back to the Jedi, and she's going off to fight Darth Maul at the end of the show. She kind of sees Anakin for the last time, which was her master, and it's this beautiful relationship. And the reason why I love Clone Wars is that you see Anakin really develop, and you can see choice by choice how he is becoming Darth Vader, right? Whereas in the movies, it's just this quick jump. You feel like, whoa, like he's Vader now. And you don't get some of the meat and potatoes of it, but where in Clone Wars, you really see, he makes these little nuanced decisions that could see his heart sort of changing. And because of his relationship with Ahsoka, there's so much good stuff there. So I'm excited for a live action series. Ahsoka actually carries into Star Wars Rebels, which is also an animated series. I'm not sure when the Ahsoka, live action series is going to take place. My guess would be that it's in between the end of Rebels and then where we see her in The Mandalorian, maybe. Or it could be after The Mandalorian. Like, I guess it just depends on what happens in The Mandalorian. We shall see.
You have Kenobi's arrogance.
You'll find I have many qualities for you to dislike.
The next thing is Andor. So Cassian Andor was I don't even know if he's Spanish. I think he's Spanish, but he's the dude with the really good accent in Rogue One. So if you saw Rogue One, he's kind of the male protagonist. It's a really nice like Spain accent, and I'm like, yo, this dude needs to come read me a book, man. I'll just fall asleep. Like, yo, I would love that. If you hear me, man, I forget his name, but if you hear this, come read me a book. I'll pay you. Anyways, he's getting his own series. My guess is that it's gonna be from before Rogue One, because obviously at the end of Rogue One, we know that he dies, so that's not a spoiler. You should have watched Rogue One already, but he dies along with the female protagonist. And yeah, so this whole series is probably going to take place before that and show some of his adventures and stuff. And I'm excited, man, because we get to hear his voice. I'm talking like I have this crush on him. Maybe I do.
Everything I did for the rebellion.
But yeah, I'm telling you, you'll know. When you hear it, you're like, yeah, Yeah, that's nice. It's smooth. It's smooth. The next one is The Acolyte. And so The Acolyte is rumored to be this mystery thriller sort of Star Wars show, which is really, really exciting to me because they don't really dabble too much in thrill, and obviously we're all super intrigued with the dark side. And so I think this Acolyte show, apparently, supposedly, it's going to be revolving around, or at least allude to at some point in the show, Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
And if you remember in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine, he talks to Anakin, and he kind of entices Anakin. At the time, Anakin keeps having this dream that Padme is going to die, and so he really wants to learn how to prevent someone from dying because his worst nightmare is for Padme to die. And so we all know that Palpatine at this point is Sidious, is Lord Sidious, and he's kind of trying to entice Anakin to really stir his heart up and to have his motive be based out of fear. I don't want Padme to die, therefore I need to blank. Whatever that is the way of the Sith, right? And so this is the tragedy of
Darth Plagueis the Wise.
I'm going to read it to you. He says this, he says, "Did you ever hear the tragedy of
Darth Plagueis the Wise?"
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and wise he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side that he could even keep the ones he cared for from dying. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. He became so powerful, the only thing he was afraid of was losing his power, which eventually, of course, he did. Unfortunately, he taught his apprentice everything. I love that it says, unfortunately, he taught his apprentice everything he knew. Then his apprentice killed him in his sleep. It's ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself. Palpatine, or the Emperor, was the Padawan, essentially, the equivalent of a Padawan to Darth Plagueis. He was the one who was under Darth Plagueis's leadership. So when he tells that story, he's speaking about himself. And actually, Palpatine was the one who murdered Darth Plagueis in his sleep after his master taught him everything he knew. And so the student became the master. And that one's called The Acolyte. I think it's going to be great. I love the exploration of the dark side, and the fact that it's going to be a thriller. I'm really pumped for it. The next one is ObiWan Kenobi. This show is going to be freaking amazing. Ewan McGregor is coming back. Christian Haydenson is going to reprise his role as Darth Vader.
Christian Haydenson.
This is going to be set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, okay? So 10 years after Anakin becomes Darth Vader, this is when the story is going to take place. Luke is with Obi-Wan, right? Because at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan takes Luke, and then Leia is with General Organa, okay? So I don't know what we're going to see, but we do know that Luke will be about 10 years old in this show. And so Obi-Wan, there's so much story to tell, which is super dope. Hayden Christensen got a lot of flack for like his role as Anakin. I feel like it was really good. Maybe it's just because I grew up with him, but I kind of dug like his character as Anakin. I'm not saying somebody couldn't have done it better, but I don't know. I ain't gonna shed hate. I ain't gonna shed hate on anybody.
You underestimate my power! Don't try it!
Another show that's coming out is called Rangers of the New Republic. I think this is just going to be geared around kind of different unknown Rangers from the New Republic, of course, and probably just how they handle missions and do all that sort of stuff. So forget the female character who's a wrestler or whatever from The Mandalorian, but she's kind of like a ranger, and she's super BA. I love her character so much. She's awesome. So she's probably a good example of like what that might look like. Probably people like her and like their endeavors within the universe. I don't know. Lastly is Rogue Leader. And so of course we have the video game, and Rogue Leader is a movie. Not so the other ones that I spoke about were all TV shows. Rogue Leader will be a theatrical release, which is exciting because I can't wait to get back to the movie theater, man. Like one of my favorite things to do is just go to the movies. Like, I love going to the movies, and I hate that we can't go to the movies right now. It's whack. It's super whack. This COVID thing needs to go. Like, it needs to go. But Patty Jenkins is the director of Wonder Woman, and so she's gonna be directing this movie, which I'm super pumped about. Like, I love the idea of fresh story, and so I love that George Lucas keeps looking to these different directors to tell these new stories in different ways. And so I think Patty Jenkins will kill it. Like, I liked Wonder Woman a lot. I wasn't crazy about it. I thought there were a lot of moments, like, I don't know, unnecessary. But overall, I think the movie was really, really great. And I like that, you know, there's a lot of little girls that are like, can envision themselves in that role, and kind of that female superhero lead. You know, we're getting more of that now, which is cool, but I feel like that was something that was lacking previously. But anyways, guys, I hope you're doing really, really well. I hope that, you know, you guys are staying safe. If you found anything, you know, enjoyable in the video or whatever that you liked, you know, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Leave comment below. Let me know. Leave a comment below and let me know what you're most excited for. If you're excited about any of these, you know, feel free to. Or if you just want to fact check me and be like, yo, you were wrong, you can do that too. That's totally fine. But yeah, I hope you guys are staying well, staying safe, and yeah, cheers to a fresh perspective. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.